How many consistent and profitable trading strategy do you have in your trading arsenal? I got this new strategy that says this is the best William Alligator strategy for day trading Forex from Daytrader. Instead of going ahead and watching this strategy directly, I will quickly explain the strategy, then we automate together, we backtest to be sure if we are doing the right thing, then we optimize to see if we can get the best result, to explore the best way to use the strategy. Then we conclude if the strategy is truly profitable with relatively low drawdown and if we should give the strategy a chance. Let's get into the video. So as promised, let me quickly explain what he explained in the video about the strategy. So I'll quickly remove these fractals, B. William fractals, right? We should go for an indicator also by B. William, right? So you can get it under your navigator. And if you do not have your navigator, you can just go for view, then go for navigator. And under navigator, you go for indicator, which is this. And under your indicator, you go for B. Williams. And under your B. Williams, you are going to get this alligator. So you can double click or drag and drop this into your chart, right? So now we are going to use the default setting, right? Then as you can see, the jaw will be the blue line and the teeth will be the red line and the lips will be the line, right? So basically this alligator is more like the real life alligator. You know, the alligator have a teeth, it has a lip and it has a jaw. So the blue line will be representing the jaw and the red line will be representing the teeth and the line will be representing the lips, right? So let me quickly explain the strategy. So I'll click on OK. Also, to be sure that we are trading with the trend, so we should also get one more indicator called moving average. So yeah, moving average, I will select period of 200 and the method will be exponential period, right? Then the applied price will be closed and I will use the style of yellow since we do not have any line that is yellow on the chart. So I'll just click on OK. So here you go. This is our chart. So we are going to buy when the blue line, which is the jaw, is above the red line and the red line, which is the teeth, is above the green line. Then the market closes above the red line, right? So you can see this blue line is above this and this is above this, right? So this indicates that there was a bearish trend, right? But now the market has crossed above this red line, which is the teeth. So the moment the market crosses above the teeth, this indicates that we are now switching to a bullish phase, right? And of course, the candle is above the exponential period. So we should have bought here and we should have ride the trend, right? So that is the strategy. So after entering a buy position right here, we are going to close the position when the market touches the lip, which is this green line. So we can say if the market touches the lip or if the market closes below the lip for the buy position, right? So there are two different approaches. We can actually close around here when the market touches this point, or we can just wait for a close because the touch might not be true. So we can just wait for a close. So around here, we are going to close our buy position, right? And of course, you can see this is a retracement or okay, yes, it is a retracement, not a reversal. So that is a bullish example. So let me quickly show you the sell setup. So this is a valid example of a sell setup, right? You can see we have this lip above the teeth and the teeth above the jaw. So the lip is the green line, like I mentioned, and the red line is the teeth, the red and the blue line is the jaw, right? So you can see this is a bullish phase, and at this point where we have this candle closing below the teeth, it indicates that we are about to enter or switch to a bearish phase, right? So we are supposed to enter here, and of course we have no stop loss and we have no fixed take profit, but we are going to close our position when the market closes above these teeth, right? So that is where we are going to close our bearish position, right? Also, like I said, we have two options. Like I said, we can either say close it when the market touches the lip or when the market closes above the lip for the sell case, right? So, but we are going to go for close above for the sell case and close below for the buy case, right? We want it to close above. We want the candle to close before we decide if we should close our position or not. And this will have bagged a little profit, right? Let's quickly get into it. And as we move into the automation part, of course, you will understand better. So I'm going to create my new project. I'll say Control N or Command N if you're on Mac. So I'll go for exponential. So then I'll go for expert advisor. Then I'll say next. Then I'll give this a name. I will say B. William Alligator strategy. Then I'll say next, I'll say next, I'll say finish. Then I'll clean this up. So what are things we need from the user? First thing first, we need the magic number, right? So this magic number, number. Then we need the lot size, right? So I can say the default should be 0.01 lot size. Also, we want the user to be able to specify the time frame. Also, the main reason for this is we want to get the best time frame to use this strategy. You know, we do not know if we should use it on 5 minutes or 50 minutes or 30 minutes. We want to know the best time frame to use this. So I can say make this. So we are going to optimize for the time frame as well and other things that is necessary. So I can say time frame. Then what else do we need? You know what, for now, let's just say we need the trade comment. So what label should be on the each position or order created by this indicator, I mean by this EA. So I can say strategy EA. So I'll say trade comment. Then you know what, let's group this. So I'll group this to be general setting, you know, general settings, right? Then I want to group this to be the alligator setting. So I can say alligator settings. So I want the users to be able to edit the settings for the alligator. So what are the settings for the alligator? So coming back here, so I'll just say I'll double click on this. Then I see that I have the jaw period, the teeth period, and the lip period. So I'll say the jaw period, which is 13 by default, jaw period, the lip period, which is 8, lip period, and the teeth period, which is 3, teeth period. Also, I want to specify the method. So MA method. So I can say alligator method. So by default, it should be the simple. So I will say method. Then I will say the applied price. Alligator price, right? So this will be price median. So I will say applied price. So the user will have to change this if he or she wants. So I can say for the filter EMA, so I can say filter EMA, or say trend trend moving average, or trend MA, or let me say moving average. So I can say the default, the period, MA period will be 200 by default, MA period. Then what kind of method? Method, MA method. So I will say the exponential, MA method, and the applied price, MA price, which is the price close, applied price, MA applied price. So before I continue, I would like to have this include files. So I will say include from the trade class. So get me this trade. So I will say this also from the include file from this trade from C info MQH. So get me this position info, and it should be accessible through this. So I want to say whenever a trade is created by this in EA, so set this magic number to that trade. So assign this magic number to that trade. Then I want to get the handle for my indicators, so I'll have this as a global. So I'll say this for alligator and this for the moving average. So I'll say for the alligator, so alligator, right, for this chart symbol, and for what time frame, for the time frame specified by the user. Then what should be the jaw period? So this should be the jaw period, and what should be the jaw shift? So let me quickly get that. So you can see the jaw shift is 8, and this is 5, this is 3. So I'll say, okay, we can also have that as available. So I can say jaw shift, this is 8, jaw shift. Then this is the lip shift. I think this is 5, lip shift. Then for this, which is the teeth shift, teeth shift, I think this is 3. Okay, I think this lip is the 3, lip is 3, and this is 5. So that is that. So I can simply say teeth shift. All right, so that is that. So yeah, whenever I'm asked to get the shift, I'll say this, and teeth period, teeth period and teeth shift, then the lip period and the lip shift, then the alligator method, then the alligator price, right? So that is that. Then for the moving average, so I can say IMA for this chart symbol, for this time frame, and for what period, for the MA period specified by the user, and for this shift of 0, and this MA method specified by the user, and this MA price specified by the user, right? So that is that. Also, so let's quickly get into the main part. So I love having my logic inside the function, so I can just say alligator, so I can say alligator, right? So I can, okay, I'll just call this alligator. Then here it will return nothing, right? And to take nothing. So now want to make sure that there is no open position before we consider searching for position. How do we know if there is no open position? We are going to write a function that returns the last position index, right? Then we are going to store it into this variable called trade index. I'll say last position index. Index, right? So let me quickly create this function. So it is going to return index, which is an integer, right? So how is this going to get the last position index? It's going to loop through all the position that is available on this account, this trading account, starting from the last one, right, down to the first one, which is of index 0, right? Then it is going to select each position by the index, right? So select by index, which is provided by this p-info, right? So it is going to select this, and if the selection is successful, it is going to compare the position symbol with the chart symbol, right? Then it is going to compare the position magic number with the magic number specified by the user. And if this comparison is correct, is true, it is going to return the it is going to return the index of that position, right? Then if after looping through everything, none of the comparison is true, it's going to return -1, meaning there is no open position. So now the value returned by this function will be assigned to this. So if trade index is of -1, so that means there is no open position. We are going to search for position, right? Search for position. And in the case where the trade index is not value of in the case where trade index is not -1, that means there is an open position. We are supposed to manage our position, manage positions, right? So manage positions. So that is that. So what do we need? We need to get the value for the lip, for the teeth, and for the jaw, right? So how do we do that? We can quickly store the values here as an array. So I can simply say lips, I'll say lips, so I'll say teeth, teeth, then I will say jaw, so let me say jaws. So how do I get this? I'll copy buffer from handle alligator. So what is the buffer for the lip? Let me quickly show you that. Okay, you know what, let me remove this so that you won't find it confusing. So now you can see it is already named. The buffer for the jaw is 0, the buffer for the teeth is 1, and the buffer for the lip is 2, right? So I can simply say, you know what, let's start with the jaw, which is 0, right? So we want to start getting a value from 0. Then how many do we want? You know what, just got those maybe 5. And where do you want to store it? Want to store it in the jaw array, right? So I can also get buffer for the next one, which is the teeth. Then I'll say buffer 0, buffer 1, start from 1, get me 5 of it and store it here, right? So and for the lip, I'll say buffer 2 zeros, just get me 5 of it and store it here. Also, I want to make sure that I sort all my values, right? So I can say sort the jaw. Oops, this should be jaws. So I'll say sort through array sets a series for the teeth. So also sort that, and for the lips also sort that. Then we also need to know if the candle is closing above or below, right? So we need to get the close of the previous candle. So I can say this for the close, for this chart symbol, for this time frame specified by the user, and for the previous candle. So for the buy case, we can say if the candle closes, also we need to get the values for the moving average. I forgot to do that. So I can simply come back here and say MA, right? So I can say copy buffer from the handle MA, and of course the buffer for the moving average is 0, and we want to start getting a value from 0, and we want to just get maybe 5. We can get 2. We actually need the second one, so we can just say 5. I love having extra. Then I'll drop my values here. Then I'll say array sets a series MA true, right? Then I want to say make sure that the close of the previous candle is above the moving average, right? That's the first thing. Then I want to make sure that the lip of the previous candle is below the teeth of the previous candle, right? Then the teeth is also below the jaw, right, of the previous candle. So this is more like saying I want to make sure that it was previously a sell trend, but now there is a switch from the sell trend to a bullish trend. So that is what I want. Then I want to make sure that there is a close above the teeth, because this is the key part. I want to make sure that there is a close above the teeth. So that is what I'll use in confirming that there is a switch from the bearish trend to a bullish trend. Now, sometimes the alligator indicates that there is a ranging market, and sometimes it indicates that there is a bullish market. How do we identify this? So I think we should do this. This is what we are going to do. So you can see this trend was a bearish trend before the market closes above this. So what we are going to do is want to be sure that this is truly a bearish trend. So we are going to look through from this point where we have this. So this is the close of the candle above. This is where the candle closes above the red line, right, which is the teeth. So we are going to look through from here to the point where this particular alignment no longer valid, when this blue line is no longer above the red line and the red line is no longer above the green line, right? So which is at this point. So we are going to get the number of values that does not touches this lip. Then if 80% of the candle does not touches the green line, right, so we are going to consider it as a strong bearish trend. So that means the bearish trend was solid, so it is most likely not a fake one, compared to something like this. For example, here, if you are to check, maybe you are around here and you want to check from this point to this point to see, maybe you want to check from this point to this point, if none of the candles, or how many of the candles is touching the green line, you can see that there are a lot. It is even less than 50%. Automatically, we won't consider the trade that comes out. This is probably not going to be a valid trade, but let's see. So we are going to look through from the index 2, right? So from the candle before the close of the candle that is above or below the red line that shows the signal, right? So we are going to look through until we get to the point where the lip, the teeth, and the jaw are no longer valid. We are going to get the count of the candle that touches the lip. So that we are going to compare with the total number of candles that align with that particular previous trend. So let me quickly get into it so you can understand better. So all right, so for this, we can call this was bearish. So you can say it was bearish. So this is for the bullish case. So we want to confirm if there was a valid bearish situation. So what are we going to do? We still need the lip, we need the jaw, we need the teeth, right? So how do we get that? And how many do we need? We need for the whole number of bars on the chart. Of course, we won't be looping through all the bars on the chart, of course. So we can just say bars, So this, and that is what we'll be going for. Now, let's quickly copy this so that we won't have to type all of this, right? So I can do this. All right, then for this, I want the number of bars on the chart, not just 5, because I will most likely be looping through everything. So that is that. Then I want to start with the number of candle that does not touches the lip, right? So I can say, I'll say beer. I'll just say 0. Then I'll say total. How many candle in total do we have? I don't start my count with 1 because I already know that I'm starting with index 2, right? So this is what I mean. So so I know I'm starting with index 2, right? And I'm looping to the left hand side, less than bars, right? So this. So let's assume this is a valid one, so I can just say valid. It is a valid one when the it is a valid one when the lip of the previous candle, when the lip of this particular candle we are currently on is less than the teeth, right? Oops, is less than the teeth, and the teeth is less than the jaw, right? So this jaws, so this is a valid one, right? So now if it is not valid, in the case where the lip is less than the teeth and the teeth is less than the jaw, that is when it is valid. But in the case where this returns false, so if this returns false, that means at this point the lip is now higher than the teeth, which is wrong. So starting from here, you can see it is still valid. It is still valid. So it is at this point that to consider. So it is at this point that it is going to consider that, oh, this is no longer a valid beer. So please stop the loop. So this is where it is going to stop the loop, right? So I can say break here. Then we want to make sure that, okay, you know what? Let's get the high. HI, this, and this. Let me quickly show you that. So this is what I mean, right? So that means this at this point when the candle closes above the teeth, so we are going to start looping from here. Then it is going to start looking from the back. Now, wherever you see that the high is not touching, that means the high is lower than the lip. That means yes, it is a very strong bearish trend. So at this point, you can see the trend is no longer we should be in a doubt. We should be doubting. We can say at this point we should be doubting if truly the trend is still bearish, right? At this point, when the high is not touching the lip, we can still say yes, it is still a valid sell trend, right? But when the market start touching the lip, we now start having doubts. So when the high of this candle is not touching the lip, that means it's lower than the lip, we can say bear +1. That means yes, this candle signifies that the bear is still strong. But when the candle start touching the lip, that means higher or equal to the bear, we should not count that the bear is still strong, right? Here we are going to say if the high is lower than the lip, which is the red line, right? We are going to say bear +1. That means the bearish trend is still strong, right? So and after doing everything, just count the total that, oh, we are on the first candle, we are on the second candle, the third candle, just continue counting. Then at the end, we need to get the percentage. So let me get the percentage. I will say percentage. Let me say percent. So which is the bear divided by the total, right? So I can say this. But you know what? If we do this, we probably will be getting our value in an integer form. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 1.0, right? So this is what I'm going to do. Then I will now say return the percentage is greater or equal to 0.8, which is 80%. The moment this percentage, which is the value of the bear divided by the total, let's assume we have 10 candles, right? And 8 of the candle is not touching the lip. 8 of the candle's eye is below the lip. That means we are 80%. 80% of the candle that means 80% of the candle, that means 8 out of 10 is not touching the lip. That means there was a strong bearish trend. And in case maybe it's just 50% of the candle that is not touching the lip, that means the bearish trend was not so strong. Probably we were in a range. That is what this means. So let's quickly get for the bullish case, which was bullish, which we are going to use for the sell case. So I'll say it was bullish. Oops, bullish, right? So this, we are going to say if the lip is above the teeth, right, and the teeth is above the jaw, if this is valid, I mean, if this returns false, we are going to break, we are going to stop looping through. Then we need the high here, right? So I can say high low. I mean, we need the low here. They can say if the low is above the lip, right, we are going to say bull. Here we are interested in the bull, not the bear. So I can say bull. And at the end, we are going to say bull. The total number of candles that the candle is above the lip, that the candle is not touching the lip or not touching the teeth, the jaw, where the candle is the trend is strong. That we are going to register, and at the end we are going to say how many candles. Then we are going to say the total number of candles that is not touching the lip, that is above the lip, right, divided by the whole candles when this was aligning, right? So that is how we are going to determine how strong the bullish trend was as well. Then here we are going to say, so also make sure that 80% of the candle is not touching the lip. So that is what we are trying to do there. So we are going to handle this by case later. So let's quickly say if the close for the sell case, if the close is below the moving average, right, the moving average, and the lip, right, the lip of the previous candle is above the teeth, right, and the teeth is above the jaw. Oops, it should be jaws, not jaw. It's above the jaw. This is jaws, right? And the close of the previous candle is below the teeth, right? So that means there's a switch between the bullish trend to the bearish trend, and was bearish. So how strong was the trend? We want to make sure that we are dealing with a strong trend, right? So I'll just say this. Now, we are going to buy. How do we buy? We can simply say, you know what, let me just register my buy. So I'll say buy using the volume specified by the user. Then I will say using this chart symbol, then what should be the price? You can also say, you know what, 0 to be okay. You know what, let's define the ask price and the bid price. So I'll come back here and I'll say ask this ask price, oops, symbol ask. Then for the bid price, which is this this symbol, oops, symbol bid. So here you go. So I'll say this. Then what should be the stop loss? Of course, we do not define a fixed stop loss and we do not define a fixed take profit. Then we'll say comment. Then I will say if this is false, that means if this sending of my trade fails, then I will say tell me the reason why, which is order send error, then get last error, right? So now for the sell case, I can simply say oops, trade sell, right, this bid 00 comment, right? So I can copy this and it should be the same thing. So it is as simple as that. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to handle the take profit case, right? So how do I do that? First thing first, I need to select the last position. So I can say P info select by index, and what is the index of the last position, which is this trend index, right? Which is the value gotten from this function when we called it, right? Then if oops, you know what, let's get the previous candle close. So I can say candle close of the previous candle, right? So this previous candle. So if we are dealing with a buy case, if P position type is of buy case, position type buy, right? And the candle of the previous candle closes below or equal to the lip, right? So how do we get the lip? You know what? Instead of defining the lip here as well, you know what? Let's just define this to be on this scope. So I'll do this and I'll have it like this. So like this. So that means it is accessible here as well. So I can say trade position close using the ticket, right? And in the case where we are dealing with a buy, I mean with a sell, so yeah, position type sell, and the close is above the lip or equal to the lip, right? So we are going to see all of this in action in few minutes. So I can just copy this, then I'll paste here, and that is all. So let me quickly save and compile to see if we are on the right track. So I'll save and I'll compile. Okay, we do not have any error. So the next thing I'll do is let's quickly backtest to see if the strategy is working correctly. So I'll pop up my strategy tester, which is this. And if you do not have your strategy tester, you can just go for view. Then you can go for strategy tester here. So I'll select my EA, which is B William, right? So I'll switch back to gold. Sorry, this is not gold. This gold. Then I will stay on 5 minutes so that we have faster results. Then for this, I will switch to 2026. Just move. Okay, let's just leave this since we won't be backtesting for long. We'll just optimize for long. So and we use deposit of 500. We use we switched. Okay, we switched this to disable for now. We only want to backtest. So let's go for the input. We leave this. Okay, I think we do not need to change anything for now. So I'll just click on start. So I'll reduce this and I'll remove the grid. Okay, let me zoom close so that we can see all of this in action. Oops. Okay, you know what? Let's make sure that we are only going through this all of this one time per candle. This is what I mean. Since we are dealing with close of the previous candle, and also here we are dealing with close of the candle, so why not just go through all of this logic when there is a new bar, right? So instead of going through every tick, why not just go through it when there is a new bar? So let's quickly register this so we can say daytime last check. So I'll say if last check is equal to the current chart bar, the chart bar time, right? So which is this. So we are going to return. We are going to do nothing. And in the case where it is not, maybe after checking this, please register that you've checked. So I can say at the end here, register that you've checked, right? So I think that should make it faster. So I can just say save and compile. So I'll start again. So I need to reduce the speed. Okay, you can see it is now faster. So I will just increase the speed. So we should be expecting a buy. Okay, I think we are switching to a sell phase. So I think we are unable to get a valid trade, and maybe we were too strict with our condition. Okay, you know what? This particular part where we specify 80%. Okay, you know what? Let's just call this. I don't know what the name I should give this in my setting. I'll call this verb. Okay, let me call this sharpness. Okay, let me say sharpness. I'm sorry, I do not have a good name on my head right now. So I'll say sharpness. So this, okay, let me say previous trend sharpness. Previous trend sharpness. So this and this. I believe this is the reason why we do not have much trade. So I can just save and compile. Then here I'll change the sharpness to maybe 40%. So hopefully we will have a position. So I will remove the grid, and I will increase this. Okay, we are still not having a position, but let's see if we, are you sure we have, I do not think this thing is aligning. Are you sure we have the right setting for the indicators? Okay, let me get the data window. Then okay, so let me, okay, so if you have to compare this, you can see, oh, we are getting something wrong. We assigned this wrongly. The teeth should be 8. The teeth should be 8 and this should be 13. Okay, the jaw should be 13, the teeth should be 8 and this should be 5. I think that is where we are messing things up. So once again, the teeth period should be 8. The teeth period should be 8. Let's go back. So yeah, the teeth period should be 8 and the lip should be 5, and the lip should be 5, right? So since we have it as a setting, so we also need to change it here. Let me just reduce this. Then I'll come back here. So the jaw is 13, right? So the period of this should be 5 and the period of this should be 8. So let's also confirm the shift. The shift for the jaw is right. The shift for the teeth is 5, right? Okay, that is also valid. And the shift for the lip is 3. Okay, that's also valid. So I think now let's just save this. Let me save this. Oops. Let me save this and compile. Let's try again. Okay, let me remove this and okay, now you can see the trend is now aligning compared to when we messed things up when we were typing. Okay, so you're still not having a valid case. Wait, we should have had a valid one here. A valid, oh, we were below the trend. Okay, you know what, let's make this trend an option. So I can say, come here, say use trend filter, which is let's say false by default. So I'll say use trend filter. So if the user wants to use trend filter, that is when you should even consider going for this. So we are going to say for this, if use trend filter, right, this and here. So I'll say use trend filter equals to false, or the close is above the moving average. And for this, we can say trend filter is equals to false, or the close is above the moving average. So I'll save and compile. So hopefully, even if we are below the trend, we are going to still have a bullish case. This is just for testing purpose. We are still going to optimize for this to see if truly we should be using the trend filter or not. So we are just trying to use this to be sure we are okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, we should have had a sell case here. I don't know why. Let me check reason why. So let me go back. I think we have another logic error. Then that is around here. If you remember, I was trying to add make this a decimal, but we forgot to change this to double. This is still an integer. So even if we have even if you have an actual value, of course, it is still going to consider it as an integer. Meanwhile, I know that when we are doing this division and trying to get the value in double, it is still going to consider each of these as an integer because their data type is an integer. So I should have done this. I should have said double to this and this, or one of them. So, and maybe to make sure that you are not confused, I can just say double to this as well. Of course, we are trying to increment by one year and year, but we need it so that we will be able to get a double value when we are doing this division. So, like I said, we can just do it to one of them because one of them must be double so that we can get a value in double because we want to compare with a double value, which is this sharpness. So yeah, I can just say double as well, and I can also make this double. So that will make it work. So that's the logical error. So we can easily, okay, let's just keep this to 60 so that we won't be too strict with our values, with our scrutiny. So I will start. I'll keep this I will remove the grid. Let's increase the speed a little. And okay. Okay, you can see we have a sell case here because the trend was previously a bullish trend, right? But here the candle closes below the teeth, right? So that is why we have a sell trend. And of course, because the candle closes back above the lip, that is why we close the sell position here. Let me zoom close. So you can see we close back the sell here and we enter a sell again simply because we have a candle close below the teeth again. And let's see, you know, automatically we are in a range here. But of course, if we have used maybe a sharp ratio that is, that is bigger, maybe 8%, maybe we probably would have been able to filter out this this third position. Or is it second? Yes, this third position. And assuming we have the filter on, maybe we'll be able to filter this kind of problem. But like I said, this is just for testing sake, and let's just keep it like that. Okay, we still have another sell position here. Of course, we get knocked out again. So the moment we switch back our trend, of course, we should filter all of this trade. We should only sell. We'll be able to buy only here. You can see we have a sell case here again, and we were knocked out. So we should have a sell. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we should be expecting a buy when the market closes above this red line. Okay, so we have a buy, and that's because the market closes above the red line, indicating that that's the end of a bearish trend. And you can see 60% of these candles are not touching the green line. So we're knocked out. We enter again. We are still in a bearish trend. I think that's the essence of having the moving average. You know what? Let me close this. Then I'll switch back the use trend to true. I think that should help us in filtering and I think I'll switch back this sharpness to 80. So I'll start again. So let's see. So I'll remove this grid and I'll make it faster. So now we are not going to enter a sell position because we are above the exponential moving average, which is going to filter out all the sell case. So those manipulation, you'll be able to avoid them. We are only going to look for buy position above the trend. So let me increase this, and you can see we are avoiding sell case because we are above the exponential moving average. You can see that's a good one. Now we are now in a sell case, but I think we are yet to decide. So we are only going to take a sell position here because we are below the exponential moving average. So I don't know if I should increase this. Oops, that was too much. Let me decrease. So here you can see we entered a sell case because this particular candle, which was the previous candle, closes below. But we were knocked out. Of course, it was a valid case, but we were knocked out because of our way of taking profits. And if we had a valid sell case, let's assume we were not knocked out by the take profits style. Of course, this would have been a very valid, a very sweet trend. Let me just reduce the speed and continue. So if you are fortunate enough to have a sell case here, it will have been triggered. You'll be able to trigger the trend, I mean the trade. So let's continue. Okay. Okay, so we are in a buy trend. You can see this switch from bearish, I mean from bullish to bear. Now after the bear is over and we are still above this exponential moving average, we enter the buy because this candle closes above the teeth, which is the red line. So that's why we are in a buy position. Oops, we were knocked out because the candle closes below the lip, indicating that there is probably a reversal, a retracement. And of course, there was. So we were saved. So let's see. And I think the strategy is working fine. So let's just do more back test to be sure. So let me see if we have another position. Um, okay, we had one. Where was this? This was on the 16th. On the 16 by 5, yes, this at this point. So we entered the sell case, and was it profitable? Okay, just a little. Okay, this was just a little bit profitable, but let's assume we have another means of trading. Of course, this will have been a very nice opportunity. So maybe, okay, I think we closed the position here. Okay, we closed the position here after confirming the close of this candle above the lip. So okay, I think we are good to go. So we can just move on to the oops, this is too fast. Let's see the trade that was taken. When was it taken? Okay, you can see we are now up. We are in a profit now. So when was this taken? This was taken on the 21 and 9:30, which is this. Okay, was it the one we checked? Okay, I think it's just similar. Okay, it's not the one, but it's similar. It is similar to the previous trade we just analyzed. Then I think there it was two. Okay, maybe that's all. Okay, we had the buy position here, and we are closed here. But if not for this retracement, of course we will have reading the trend to a very good extent. So let's just continue, and I will increase the speed a little. Okay, let me clear this so that I'll be able to check again. So we scrutinize. Okay, this. Oops, we add a position, but I can't. Okay, let me quickly find the position. So we had a position on the 29th of January. So sorry about this. I just want to confirm that we are doing the right thing before we move along with the optimization, so that our whole optimization will not be based on false strategy, based on what is not correct. So that is what I'm trying to do. I just want to make sure that we are doing the right thing. We've done the right thing. So 29 and 11:35, which is here. So we were above the moving average, and there was a sell trend, but at this point there was a signal that there is a switch, and obviously 8% of the candles are not touching the lip, right? So but the there was a retracement, and a consolidation, and we were knocked out. So that was not profitable. So I'll continue this, and I will increase the speed so that we won't waste our time. Okay, let's see. What, let me first clear this part. Oops, we had a position. Now let's just move forward. You can see we barely trade because we have turned on the sharp ratio, or the sharpness. Maybe I should call it a sharp ratio. Okay, what, let's just leave it with previous sharpness. previous trend sharpness. Okay, we had a position. So let me see where we had a position on the 12th of March, but it happened by 5:40. So 5:40. So I think it happened here, and that's because there was a switch between a sell, a buy bullish case to a bear, and it ended well. I think it closed it around here. Yes, it closed it around here, this candle, which is a close above the red line. So I think we are good to go. So we can go ahead with optimization. So for the optimization part, let me just increase this so that you can see properly. Then I'll come back here and switch to 2023. 22. Okay, let's start from 21. That is approximately 5 years, right? That is approximately 4 years. Of course, this is not up to a full year, so it is like 4 year and 4 months. So I will say, and 3 months. So I will still use the deposit of 500, and I will switch this to fast. So going for the inputs, what are the things we want to optimize for? Let's optimize for the time frame. So we want to start with should we start with 1 minute? 1 minute is usually noisy, so I'll just start with 5 minutes, then I'll stop at let's say 4 hours. So for the sharpness, oops, we did not give this a proper name. So let's go back and be sure we give it a proper name. Should we call it sharpness? Sharp ratio, or we should call it previous trend sharpness. Okay, let's just call it previous trend sharpness. I think this is more descriptive. So okay, that is all. So let's go back. So for the sharpness, let's start with 50% to maybe 90%. So we increment by 1. So let's stop at 0.9. So we want to make sure that either 50% or 60% or 70% or 80% or 90% of the previous trend should be sharp before we consider a trade. We want to be sure which sharpness we should use. Let's start with maybe 0.3. Maybe I think that is good. Then for this, we are not going to optimize for any of this. We are not going to optimize for any of this because that will take too long. How many bars? Oops, I mistakenly clicked this. So how many bars? How many period do you want to optimize for? So if you have any other preference for the setting for the alligator or for the trend filter, you can go ahead and impute your preference, then optimize for these values, this time frame and the previous trend sharpness. And for the trend filter, we want to see if we should use trend filter or we should not use trend filter. And of course, I won't optimize for this. I'll just leave it on 200. So that is all. So we're optimizing for time frame, sharpness, and the trend filter. If we should use trend filter, I think trend filter should work well. But let's see which one will give us the best profit with relatively low drawdown. So that is our main aim, right? So let's just get into it. Let's click on start, and you can see the optimization has started. And the moment the optimization is done, we are going to come back here and analyze the results. So the result will show up here. So let's wait for the result and we'll be back. All right, guys, so the optimization is ready. So you can see 154 of 154. So it is ready, right? So let's quickly go through the optimization result together. So okay, let's sort based on profits. Okay, currently it is sorted. This is the highest profit made so far. So $883 made on $500, made using $500 within the span of this is approximately 4 years and 4 months. You can see we started from 2021 to 2026 April. So and you can see the drawdown was 63. I think that's too much. You know what? Apart from this, guys, okay, we have this, which was less than 25%, and the profit is 334. I think that's small. It's not, it's not sustainable. It could not even double my my deposit. You can see it could not even double my deposit. So and since even the one with less than 25% is not doubling, and you can see this one, which is also high, 145, 145 over the span of 4 years. I think that's too small, you know. Of course, the drawdown is, you know, fairly good, but I think that's too small. So in general, okay, let's sort based on drawdown and see, okay, there was no trade here. I think the sharpness was too good. Like the sharpness was too big for the for that particular trial. So there was no trade. And you know, look at this, which is 3. Of course, the trial was not profitable. And followed by this, wow, this is not sustainable. Okay, I think we've done the best sorting, which is sorting by profit, you know, and looking at the drawdown, which is this. So this and this is what we should have considered, but the profit is not sustainable. You know, for 4 years we only earned 334 using 500. So that means if we had used maybe $5,000, we will only earn $3,000 over the span of 4 years. You know, I think that's too small. In conclusion, I do not think the strategy is, you know, is good enough. So because the drawdown, is fair, right? But the profits made over the span of 4 years and 4 months, or let's say 4 years and 3 months, is not sustainable. But of course, we are relentless, right? So we are not going to stop here. So next week we are going to make more research on another strategy. Then we are going to automate it together. We are going to optimize together to see if it's good. And in case where anyone have a strategy that you think is potentially profitable and you want me to automate this for the community, you can comment the link to the video in the comment section. I will get to it and I will attend to it. Then I will of course code it for the community. If you like content like this, be sure to like and subscribe, because every Friday I automate strategy like this to review if it is potentially profitable, and I provide the source code for free in case you wish to make it better or you wish to use it. I'll see you on the next one.